You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, well, you might find you get what you need. Yeah, oh. But let's get into it on the Derek O'Shea Show. Welcome to the Derek O'Shea Show, where we discuss culture, news, politics, and more. Sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the show. Be sure to tell your friends and family about the revolution. What's up, guys? Hope you guys are having a freaking fantastic day. I appreciate you guys so much for joining me. It means so much to me that you take time out of your day to do that. I was sweeping around the news for something to talk about this morning, and I just came across a few of these clips, and I just thought, wow, what a perfect example of, I don't know, something maybe I need in my life and something maybe you need in your life, but it's a perfect indication of where our culture is at, of things that sometimes in life you don't get what you want. But if you try sometimes, you might find you get what you need. And politicians need to hear this in some capacity because they're so focused right now on this voting rights bill. I love how they say voting rights as if we don't have rights to vote. And we haven't just, as I've heard before a million times, the safest, most secure election ever. But yet at the same time, we need new laws to make it the safest, most secure elections ever. I don't understand. Anyways, they're imposing huge new regulations, new ways in which to vote, as if what we have doesn't already work, or as if in-person voting isn't the most safe and secure way to do it, not absentee mail-in ballots. It's just no third world country do it, so why would someone with 300 million plus people do it? That's a different story. But I'm seeing this over and over again as the Democrats are running up against the filibuster for this bill, and they are not happy about it. So let's listen to a few things, and then I have, because as always with my show, I don't just want to talk about what they say. I want you to hear what they say and then hear me reflect on what they have to say. So here's the late, the great Senator KLOBUCHAR. Let's hear her, and then my favorite is Markey. We'll have a little dessert on the top, a dressing for the side to make the salad palatable, if you will, because it gets better. But here's KLOBUCHAR. Let's listen.
Moment as reason not to do what it takes to come to protecting the most sacred of rights, the right to vote. Some have argued that allowing voting rights legislation to pass the Senate without clearing a 60-vote threshold would be a mistake that would open the door to somehow leading to wild swings in federal policy.
Yeah, why would that do that? Why would getting rid of the filibuster, allowing swings of politics? Because you bet your bottom dollar if the red wave happens coming up, which everyone is predicting that a bunch of Republicans are going to get in, whether that changes things or not, the Democrats will be the ones saying, no, we need a filibuster. We can't have these Republican policies just being shoved down our throats. So it's always the boy who cried wolf, isn't it? Whoever has the minority and whoever has the majority, it's always the same political game. But as always, whoever's in power at the time is the one saying, we have never done this before, even though we totally have. I can't believe what these dangerous Republicans are doing in this moment. We're stuck. There's nothing we can do. As always with politics, you have to play the 3D chess game. You can't just be like you and me, where we take what we say at face value and we learn from each other and we have conversations with one another through actual speech. You have to listen to them, but then also wonder why they're saying what they're saying, because there's always a reason. Now, this reason, and for my opinion, is they're worried about the next election coming down, and they want to make it a way to make it easier for them to win in whatever way capacity that possibly is, and because why wouldn't you if you're a Democrat? If you believe Republicans are the reason for all the evil on earth and they're going to bring Satan himself to the land of United States and push these aggressive regulations and things that'll change the way you believe and how you live, why wouldn't you freak out and do these things? Because at the same time, they're okay with the power grab. They're okay with whatever means necessary, if you will. But let's continue to listen to Amy Klobuchar in this moment because, and again, wait for Markey, Senator Markey at the end for the dessert on top.
I'm trying to imagine this place ever involved in such a thing, given how slowly we go and how many people understandably want to make sure we're careful in how we pass laws, but that's one of the things that has been raised for why we need some kind of a 60-vote threshold, which of course is not in the Constitution. The word filibuster, a cloture, not.
Exactly. Not in the Constitution. Just like you being forced to wear your mask in an airplane. Not in the Constitution. But I want you to do it. Okay. Let's keep going down this perfect argument.
Not in the Constitution. And in fact, legislatures across this land, some of whom do very good things, do not use a 60-vote threshold. In fact, democracies across the world do not use a 60-vote threshold. The truth is this: we have tried for months to persuade our Republican colleagues to join us in supporting legislation, to work with us, to debate it. But what they do is they throw a wrench into the process and then basically walk out that door and go home. We don't have that debate that allows us to have amendments and allows us to ultimately have a vote on the bill. It is cut off from a vote. Reasons.
This is what we want, and we want it now, and if we don't get it now, we're going to be mad. And that's where we're gone to with our politics. The truth is we've tried everything we can. They just won't do it. Or maybe change the bill and meet in the middle ground or come closer to what they want and then pass the bill, and you'll look spectacular, whatever degree that is. But we're in this part in the culture right now where if you don't submit, we're going to find a way to just pass it anyways. We'll do executive orders and we'll have a president that, what number executive order is Joe Biden on? No one freaking knows because the number is so high. I remember there was counts for Trump as people were just like, look at how many Trump's done. He's done like 9. So let's also listen to this from Markey. Because when in doubt, don't just have an argument about something. Scream racism is the best way, as always, when you can't get your way. These Republicans won't do it, even though Democrats themselves have used the filibuster. The filibuster is now racist.
Closed-door meeting, maybe their last chance to privately talk through about what's about to happen on the Senate floor with this voting rights package and a move to change the Senate rules. I want to bring in somebody who's going to be in that meeting, Democratic Senator Ed Markey of Massachusetts, who serves on the Foreign Relations and the Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committees, among others. Senator, great to have you back on the show. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Great to be with you.
So level with me here. What's going to be said at 5 o'clock today that hasn't been said 100,000 times before?
Well, again, we celebrated Martin Luther King Day this week, and it is absolutely creating a moment in history where we have to stand up as Democrats and to fight for voting rights. As Mitch McConnell said as recently as today, it's a winning issue for the Republican Party if they suppress black and brown voters across this country.
Which
if
is a lie, but we'll
get
continue.
To the polls, then the Republicans are in a much better position to win elections. So we're going to be dealing with this issue. And we need 60 votes to protect voting rights. We have 50 Democrats ready to go. Every Democrat's ready to protect voting rights. We need 10 Republicans. We can't find Republicans who are willing to back protections for voting rights, to stop the suppression of the votes in state after state, red state after red state, where the state legislature and the governors are passing laws that make it more difficult for black and brown people to vote. So we're going to have this debate tomorrow. It's going to be very clear with the votes on the floor of the United States Senate that we cannot find Republicans in unbelievably 2022 willing to stand up to make sure that black and brown voters are not discriminated against at the polling places.
First of all, could you imagine actually believing that? When in doubt, make it a racial issue. Because if you can't just logically talk about an issue, pull on people's emotional heartstrings, and then people will go, oh, okay, well, I don't want to be seen as racist for passing these. It's just Democrats, they feel like this is their Joker card that you throw out of the deck because it's completely useless in a card games, but they feel like we're playing war, and here's a Joker card. It's worth the most. You can't argue against it. This is the truth, the life, the way. This is the foundation in which you should believe all things possible. But again, we'll keep listening because it just gets better.
The accurate point that Republicans are unanimously opposed to this voting rights package that Democrats are trying to get done, which means that if you do want to get it done, Democrats would have to change the rules, and you would need all Democrats to support that. You know that's where this issue is. We've heard, and I've heard behind the scenes discussion that there are more than just Senators Manchin and Sinema who might oppose a rules change. If it comes to this vote, as it seems like it may from Senator Schumer here on the rules change, are you confident that it's just those two who will, in essence, defect from the Democratic position?
Well, again, there are 14 Republicans who have voted in the past to expand voting rights, and we can't find them anymore.
So it just
comes down to Democrats, unfortunately. And so we're going to work very hard. If we lose those votes tomorrow, we're hoping that this debate will touch something in Republican senators' hearts that unleashes a historic perspective in terms of their commitment to voting rights. But if it doesn't, we need to have a debate, in my opinion, on the filibuster. It's racist in its origin. It's racist in its...
Oh, wait. It's racist in its origin. It's racist in its...
In its origin, it's racist in its intent.
The filibuster is racist in its intent. I just can't. I can't with these people sometimes. These people, they'll just say whatever to get their way, their bill, their stay in power. They have no integrity or conscience or courage to just speak the truth of like, this is how we want this to happen and this is why we want this to happen. They just won't do it. And there's nothing we can do. There's a thing called the filibuster, and there's a reason that it's in there because the minority then has a voice, and it's important to have the voice of the minority, isn't it? I guess not when it comes to politics, but as usual, with politicians, and it's not all Democrats, let's just be real, it's a lot of them, and especially the old ones like Pelosi, Markey, they just throw these temper tantrums like children, and then they just call out things that aren't true and call things racist because, well, if you say that, you can just keep the narrative going of these racist white Republican Trump supporters as if that's the only people that voted for Trump, even though the statistics show that actually Trump lost more white men than he did last election. So if you can't get what you want, don't be like a politician. Sometimes in life, especially with my generation, you're going to get to a job, you're going to get to a place in your life where you might not get what you want. You might not get the job you feel like you deserve or feel like you need at the time, because sometimes in life, things throw a wrench your way. Things are tough. people are jerks. There are people out in the world that are jerks. They're not necessarily just racist and out to get you. They're actually just jerks, and they want to stay in power like a lot of these politicians, and they'll do whatever they can to stay in power. But there are times in your life where you're just you're going to have to take an L, and you're going to have to learn what a loss feels like and learn what not getting your way feels like. We have a generation of privileged people that feel like as soon as they get out of college, they should have the job that they feel like they deserve, or feel like you deserve a day, or do you boo, or have a you day. It's all about you. Everything's about you. And so when things don't go your way, people freak out and they lose their minds and they say things that aren't necessarily true in the world. And we have a culture of people that are like politicians in many ways of, well, if you don't get your way, it's because everyone's out to get to you. People are trying to squash you. People are racist. People are bigots. People are homophobes. People are this, and this. While that might be true in some cases, majority of cases aren't true. And sometimes in life is just hard. For me in my life, I know life is hard. Some of us that have been hit over and over again and get back up know the pains of life, but a lot of my generation, a lot of generations below me, and some maybe even above me, feel like life is meant to serve you. But in fact, in a lot of ways, in what should be your focus, and I hope my generation and generations below me start to regain their focus, is that you are meant to serve your community, your friends, your family. It's not all about you. And the best way you can make it about you in a lot of ways is to serve other people. It's to lay your life down for another person. It's not just to say, my favorite people in life aren't the people when things don't go their way or when things seem like all hell is broken loose and everything is hopeless, are the people that have a smile on their face and keep going, keep pushing, keep doing things for their dream. Those are the kind of people that you should admire, not the people that don't get their way and then immediately start screaming these allegations that aren't true, or just say things just to people can hear their voice and you're going to hear me now, world. Don't be like these people. Grow, take an L, learn what it's like to not get your way in life and be okay with that and say, you know what? Maybe that person's a jerk, or maybe I just did something wrong, or maybe I could grow from this instance and I could be a better person, or I won't make that same mistake again, as opposed to just screaming from the rooftops racism when it has nothing to do with it. Everything's racist, everything's homophobic, everything's bigoted, everything's this, and this when you don't get your way. And it's majority of the time, that's not the case. But we've created a generation of kids and people to scream that whenever they don't get their way because, well, when you look for racism and everything, you're going to find racism and everything. If you're going to look for bigoted people and everything, you're going to find bigoted people. The more you look into the abyss, you're going to find the abyss, if you will. There's a philosophical quote in there. I'm just forgetting it from Nietzsche. I hope you guys have a great day. And remember, when things don't go your way today, don't let it affect you the rest of your day. Don't let it be the prick or the thorn that takes you away from enjoying the rest of your day, having a great day, having some hope in life. Don't be like politicians. Don't let other people dictate how you feel. Even though they will try their best to do it, you have the power to change your thoughts. And in changing your thoughts, could change your behavior and feelings. Hope you guys have a freaking fantastic day. Again, if you want to support my show, go to buymeacoffee.com/JerichoShay Show. I'd greatly appreciate it, and it would mean a lot to me. I hope you guys have a great day, and I freaking love you. I have another segment coming out soon. Also, we're going live for Joe Biden's press conference today. He's actually potentially going to answer questions, which is unbelievable. But join me live on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, or Facebook. Get in the chat. I think it's 4 p.m. Eastern. We'll see if Joe Biden shows up on time or if they don't change that time, because they always do. Every time I try to go live with these people, they're like an hour late. 30 minutes late, an hour and a half late. But come and hang out if that's the case. Love you. Bye-bye.